Got a cool watch for you today. This is a Seiko SARX033. I bought it new from Saia, Japan back in October of 2017. Late October. Comes in a nice standard Seiko box. Pretty nice. There you go. I paid $759 back then. Brand new, shipped from Japan. And here we go. I'm going to put that off to the side for right now. It also came with 2 hang tags. Let me get rid of the box. Put that away. Okay. I'll come back to the hang tags very shortly, but let's take a look at the watch. Take it off the pillow. And there she is. Okay, the hang tags that came on the watch. Well, the first is Seiko's Presage mechanical watch made in Japan. So this is part of their Presage line. It is the SARX033. They estimate 100,000 yen, so not a cheap watch. It features the 6R15 movement with some anti-magnetic properties, made in Japan. This is a JDM release. The other tag is very interesting. It's a Comfotex Seiko. And this is interesting. This is a step up from their Diashield. So some watches come with a Diashield tag, but if you get this Comfotex, usually it's a step up. And if I can show you the catalog from Seiko, their actual Japanese catalog, Comfotex, it has 2 features specifically. Diashield, so that's a coating they apply to the metal, to the stainless steel to make it harder. And in addition, it has a super clear coating on top of the sapphire crystal. And I'll come back to that. So it's a step up. You know, this is getting into really high levels of quality. Down here you have automatic in black cursive. It's printed on. The Seiko logo is an applied shiny metallic. Catches the light very nicely. And down here you have Japan 6R15 plus a couple of other numbers. The date is in white, and it just blends in pretty much perfectly with the dial. It is a tiny bit whiter. The dial has a little bit of a metallic shine to it, but you never notice it. I mean, it's so close. Around the outside of the dial, there is a minute/second ring, and it's actually divided up into sub-seconds, so it'll actually line up with each beat of the watch. I'll show that in close-up, and, you know, on a dress watch, it's a little weird for me. I probably would have preferred to remove that chapter ring. It kind of looks weird to me, and just replace it with dots or little lines for every minute. And I think that would have been a little bit dressier. But with the white dial, you don't really notice it too much. The black dial, I think you notice it a bit more. So, speaking of which, they have the same watch but with a black dial. It's called the SARX035, which is funny because it's reversed from the SARB. With the SARB, the 033 is the black and the 035 is the white. So this is reversed. Pretty interesting. Then there is another model, the SARX055, and this one's interesting. It's more money. It only has a blue second hand. It has metallic hour and minute hands. And the dial is very interesting. It kind of looks like a frost dial. Some people are calling it a baby grand snowflake, but it kind of has more of a frost effect. And the watch and the bracelet are in titanium. So this watch is about $200 to $300 more, but it's very interesting. I wasn't aware of this model back when I got my SARX033. And if I had known, I might have been very tempted to get this. It's lighter weight. The inside crystal is not hard lux. It's a sapphire as well. And by inside, I mean, you know, the inside that's actually on your wrist. And that frost dial is very interesting. Now, instead of it saying automatic, it says Presage and automatic in just capital letters. It's not script like you see over here. So, you know, a little bit difference. But otherwise, it's the same watch. So, you know. As of me making this video, Seiko discontinued the SARB line, the 033 and the 035, along with the Alpinist. And those were really nice, fancy watches for the price, around $350. But, you know, don't feel too bad that they're gone. And I don't know if they'll ever bring them back, but this is just such a step up. That dial being anti-reflective coated, and you just always see it with the high polish and the better bracelet, it's worth the money. It is 100% worth the money. If you have the money, don't even get the SARB. Just go right for this. They currently still make it, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It is real luxury. The only difference is the movement, but everything else is real luxury. It's a luxury timepiece. In Seiko's catalog, they list the size of this as 46.3 by 40.8 by 11.5 millimeters, and I just want to confirm or deny. Okay, zeroed out. For me, the diameter of the watch is coming in about 41.22 millimeters, roughly. Lug to lugs, roughly about between 46.5 to about 47 millimeters. Lug width is 20 millimeters. Thickness, I'm coming in at about 11.75 millimeters. And just to show you that the calipers are zeroed, even despite the electrical tape. Yep. I'm a big guy. I got big wrists. So this watch is definitely easily doable. And I actually think for most people, this size is perfect. You know, for a dress watch, it's not terribly thick. So a shirt goes over it. I can easily put my hand into my pocket without any problems. Here we have the watch. So all of the metal is Diashield coated to increase the hardness of the metal to help reduce scratches. I have worn this watch very regularly for the past 5 months or so, and I'm happy to say that there really are very, very few scratches. I got one tiny little ding here, and to be honest, maybe a scratch or two on the bracelet, but that's about it. Yeah, a little ding right there. So for 5 months of use, yeah, it works. This has a flat sapphire crystal, and their super clear coating is different than an anti-reflective coating. This watch has, on the inside of the crystal, an anti-reflective coating. And I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. Pretty much any angle you point it to, you just see right through it. Very little reflections. Here I'm pointing it at a huge bright light, and you can still clearly see it. Very clearly. If I bring in a watch that doesn't have anti-reflective coating, I mean, just look at that. Most angles you just see white. Whereas this, you always see it. So that's nice. The inside has an AR coating, but the outside is also coated, and this is that super clear coating. And I'm going to be honest, I don't quite know what it is. This watch resists smudges, it resists fingerprints, and it just always looks clear. I don't know what it is. It's not anti-reflective coating. It's some other coating that does some sort of physics that I'm not quite understanding, and it ticks me off. I wish I knew how it works, but this watch, you can touch it pretty much all you want, and you're not going to see fingerprints. It's the strangest thing. Now, it does attract dust and hairs, and that's okay. You just wipe it off or blow it off or use a little microfiber cleaning cloth. and it gets it right off. As a comparison, here I have a Sinn 104. Now this has a sapphire crystal that is anti-reflective coated on both sides, and it does a very good job. It's also very clear. You easily see the dial, but this is a fingerprint magnet because there is an anti-reflective coating on the outside. If you touch it, you get a smudge of fingerprints. And you got to be careful with this because it has an anti-reflective coating on the outside. If you scratch it, you're going to have a permanent scratch in the coating. So you got to really baby this. It kind of defeats the purpose of sapphire. Sapphire is really hard to resist scratches, but when you put a coating on the outside like this, that's anti-reflective, you're going to see scratches and definitely fingerprints. Whereas this, I don't get it. But it's always clear. I don't know if it's some oil repellent or nanofilm that's changing the index of refraction between the air and the sapphire. I just don't know. But it works. It's the clearest watch I've ever seen. I mean, this blows away luxury brands. It's just almost revolutionary. Now, I have not seen any scratches in the coating. I haven't babied it at all, so I don't know if I will ever see scratches in it. But so far, it's nice and clear. First thing you notice is it's a whitish dial, metallic looking, and it has blued hands. I mean, the blued hands are the selling feature for this watch. They're beautiful. Some people say they're heat treated. Some people think they're not heat treated. I don't care. They're beautiful. At some angles, they look very dark and black, and at other angles, you can see they just glow beautiful blue. Against the white/metallic dial, they just stand out. And all three hands are blued, the seconds, minutes, and hour hands. Then the dial itself. The dial itself has a nice radial pattern of brushing. It looks like brushed metal out in radial patterns, and you get a nice sunburst effect. I love that sunburst effect. It just takes the watch up another level that a matte dial just can't do. I really like it. I think it's the coolest thing. Each light source creates its own sunburst effect, and it's subtle, but it gives the dial a look of metal to it, like shiny metal. Very, very dressy. All of the indices are very high polished metal, and at 3 o'clock you have a date window that's also framed in very high polished metal. Beautifully done. It helps tie in with the symmetry of the watch. 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12 o'clock are double indices, and they have different facets. The bottom line is, at different angles, something is reflecting light. At pretty much every angle, some part of the dial, some part of the watch is reflecting, and it just really looks like a piece of jewelry. Grand Seiko, they do a little bit better job of polishing. It's a little bit shinier, more reflective, but I mean, this is so close. You're essentially getting a $6,000 watch without the movement for under $1,000. Going around, the bezel, high polished, and then the lugs are nice and matte on all four sides, brushed. And then turning over to the sides, you get pretty much two slab sides. They have a nice curvature to them, very nice flow, but there's two pretty much flat sides, and both of them are high polished. It reflects light, and it just looks really classy. Turning it over to the other side, you get a same thing, a mirror image. Two pretty much slab sides, all in high polish, and then you get a nice S on the crown, signed Seiko. The crown action is very smooth, very fine, very precise, very easy to wind. It's not screwed down. I just love winding it. It's got such a nice feel. Going down to the bracelet, the edges of the bracelet are high polished. This is stainless steel, so they were able to get a nice high polished, and it uses pins and collars, so okay, that's a bit of a downside there. So it just takes more effort to size it. The outsides and the middle sections have a brushed feature to them. And then on either side of the middle section, there are high polished links. And this is cool. Again, it's like a piece of jewelry. Something is always reflecting light. I'm in harsh light right now, but if you're outside, if you're just in indoor lighting, something is always reflecting. It is like a piece of jewelry. Now the shape of the bracelet, it's not really rounded. It has more of a squarish feel to it. There are other oyster style bracelets, even by Seiko, that are smoother. On the inside, it kind of looks like H-link bracelets. It's not the smoothest, it's not the roughest. When you wear it, you feel it a tiny bit. Sometimes it catches a hair or two on me. But overall, this is one of the very few bracelets I've ever had on a watch that I can actually wear. It's that comfortable. Going down here to the clasp, you have signed Seiko on a brushed clasp. 2 buttons to open it up. Machined metal. And when you close it, you get a nice click sound. Very secure feeling. Oh, yeah. Now, this bracelet is how you do a bracelet. Check this out. The clasp is flush. The clasp is totally flush. It will not catch on anything. This is nice. I have other bracelets from Seiko that there's a lip. There's a big lip on some of them. And I always worry that I'm going to catch that on something and just totally break the bracelet. And so I really don't use it with the bracelet. But this one, they did this perfectly. That is high quality right there. Open it up. The actual part of the bracelet for this clasp that touches your wrist, they have some relief cuts that are smoothed over a little bit just to increase the comfort, just enough. It has pins and collars, so not as high and not as luxury as a bracelet that has screws. But, you know, if you have a tool designed to push out the pins and you're careful not to lose the collars, it's doable. I was able to resize this myself, so I was very happy about that. Took a little bit of effort. I was a little bit worried at first, but it worked. The other downside is the clasp. Although it doesn't stick out, it's very nice. There are no micro adjusts. I hope you can see that. There are no fine adjustments. The only way you adjust this strap is by either removing full-size links or half links. That's it. There are 2 half links. And one of them shows an arrow for removal. So that's it. You're either removing fulls or half. 1 half. I take it back. There's another half on this side. So there are 2 half links. If your body size, if your wrist size changes throughout the day, there might be some times where this is loose, a little bit tight, and you can't quickly adjust it. That is a downside. But if you put it on a leather strap, that goes away. If we look at the back of this watch, around the edge you have Seiko, water resistant to 10 bar or 100 meters, top sapphire crystal, serial number, stainless steel, the movement. This is a 6R1503P0, and then there is an A4 in a box, and on the rotor it says 6R15D, Seiko 23 jewels, Japan. The rotor has a little bit of striping on it, which is cool, you know. If you've seen one 6R15, you've seen them all pretty much. But it's nice. I'll show you some close-ups of the balance wheel, I think you call it, and the regulator. The back is all high polished. It's extremely smooth. The lugs are all high polish. This hard luxe crystal is smooth. It's wide, so it doesn't create any pressure points on your wrist. There's enough area here to evenly distribute the weight of the watch. And it just disappears. It feels so comfortable. Not a pressure point on it. I'm at an odd angle, but here it is on my wrist. Again, look at how the light catches it. It's just so nice. With the bracelet, this is all stainless steel, so it's a bit chunky. I weighed it in with the bracelet at 147.7 grams, so not light, but not excessively heavy. This is probably about as heavy as I'd like to go in a watch. When I have it on the bracelet, I do feel it every so often. You notice you got some weight to it. But put it on a leather strap, and it's so much lighter. It just disappears. The case itself is so smooth. It's got a beautiful curvature. There are no pressure points at all. It's just so comfortable. And it's really classy looking. With the bracelet, and this is a strange effect, I notice the dial has a kind of a metallic shine to it. But when I put on a dark leather strap, it kind of looks more like a white dial. Not so much metallic. It's a strange effect. I only noticed that when I put on a bracelet for the first time after coming from all leather straps on this, and I was like, oh wow, it kind of has a metallic look to it now, the dial itself. Here I have the watch on a brown leather strap. This is from Martu. Well, actually, he or she is a watch strap craftsman from Chile. These are pretty thin straps, very soft, and I have worn this watch on this strap probably the most of any straps. I think it looks nice. It's the most comfortable out of all of them, and when I have it on this dark strap, that dial kind of just looks like white to me. It really looks like a white dial, and it was only when I went and tried the bracelet on that I actually saw the metallic aspect of the dial. So it's very cool. I'll show it to you on the wrist. Here it is on the wrist. Supremely comfortable. So comfortable. This watch is pretty thin, and so you can get away with using a thin watch strap. There are still no pressure points. It's just, and it's very nice and light now. I ordered another strap from them. It's a blue strap. So this is what it looks like brand new from Chile. It's pretty cool. I really like these straps. I might actually end up ordering another one in black with the white stitching. Yeah, they're really nice and smooth. And relatively affordable. I mean, with shipping, it came to like just $36. Really nice. Martu. Highly recommended. Took a long time to ship it. You know, you have to wait about 3 weeks to get it, but, you know, if you can wait, what a nice strap. Just put it on the scale, and with that Martu leather strap, the watch came in at 81.8 grams, which is very nice and light. The watch case itself was just 66 grams. So, you know, it's extremely comfortable when you put it on a leather strap. I thought because of the blue hands and the white dial that this watch might look interesting on a blue leather strap. And yeah, if you're not afraid of a little bit of color, I think that's a really classy little design. Show it to you on the wrist. Here we go. Now this strap is brand new. It hasn't broken in at all. It doesn't have any, age to it. So this is straight from the Martu Craftsman Workshop. But it's really still pretty much just as comfortable as the well-aged one. What do you think? Do you like it with the blue strap? This one's more of a light blue. It's not a dark blue. So it's a little bit lighter than the hands, but I think it looks good. Okay, a little bit of a side story. I bought my very first Seiko, this watch. It came with the bracelet, and it came with this strap right here. And I have been searching to find out this strap because it is just the ultimate in comfort. I've been trying to find this strap for years, as when I bought this. Probably at least 2 years by now. And I finally found some video of somebody doing a watch review, and I saw the same type of strap, and I messaged him, and he told me Martu, and yeah, that's them. So this is who makes this strap. I'll show you the inside of it. It's pretty cool. It's got a little horse, that's their logo, Martu. Handmade in Chile, genuine leather. And on this side it says nothing. It's just nice and smooth and soft leather. Here is another blue strap. This is a blue suede. This is a Fluco. Handmade in Germany, 20 millimeters, blue suede. This blue is a little bit darker than the other blue on the Martu. And I again think it looks good with the blue hands. It's got stitching all the way around it on both sides. Not as comfortable. I'm not a big fan of the stitching in terms of comfort, but you know, I think with the white dial, the blue hands, I think you could really wear this with a blue strap. Show it to you on the wrist. There it is on the strap. Pretty cool. I never had a suede strap, so I wanted to try it. It wasn't terribly expensive, so I gave it a try. Now I've put the watch on a black leather collar ebb strap made in Italy. This one's a little bit thicker than the Martu, but it's still very soft, very smooth, extremely comfortable, high quality, great smell, stays clean. This is a really high quality leather strap. This is their Sienna Aviator, black. I paid about $57 from Holben's. I think I have a card from them here somewhere. Oh yeah, there's the card right there. Yeah, I love this strap. A little bit pricey, but it's held up. It looks almost brand new, and it smells great. It looks great. It stays clean. No dyes run off on your hand. A little bit chunky. That's about as thick as I like to go on a watch, especially a watch as thin as this. But what do you think? How does it look? I think this also looks really, really classy. I mean, you want to pull off a nice dress outfit. Yeah, the bracelet's nice, but I mean, check that out too. Whoa. Last, but perhaps not least, this is a thick leather strap from Sinn, actually. This came with my Sinn 104. But, you know, this would be a very dark brown with cream color stitching. I think it looks cool. Show it to you on the wrist. Here it is on the wrist. Yeah. I don't think it's the best match for this watch. I think I would go a little bit darker with pure black, with white stitching the brown. There's nothing really about the watch that ties in with the brown, but it works. Wouldn't be my choice, but, you know, this gives you an idea of what a dark brown strap would look like on this watch. Now, one of the reasons this watch is relatively inexpensive for all the features and the beautiful design, that super clear coating, the dia shield, the beautiful polishing, it's like jewelry. And the big reason why this is not a $5,000-$6,000 Grand Seiko is the movement. It's a 6R15, which a lot of people are very familiar with. I have had no problems with any of my Seikos with 6R15 movements, and they're pretty good. I've had some that are about 7 seconds fast a day. This one might be more like 9 or 10 seconds fast a day. And that's straight from the factory. That's no regulating on my part. And they're nice. High power reserve relatively. Smooth action, very easy to wind. And they work. Now, okay, what are some of the downsides to the movement? Well, it beats at 21,600 beats per hour, so there's a little bit more of judder to the second hand. This might be hard to see, but there's a little bit more judder. And probably the least refined aspect of this watch, I'm going to pull out the crown to the second position to adjust the time. You can see the second hand is stopped. It's very smooth to set the time, but now watch the date. It's currently at 13, and I think this is set to AM. It is. So let me go all the way to PM. And you're going to see around 10 o'clock, 10:30, the date starts to change. Okay, so 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Okay, there. At 10:15 or so, you can start to see the date changing. And that's a long time for a date to change. It's a very slow, gradual process. And so from 10:15 all the way through, you get this, what day is it? If you don't know what day it is or what date it is by now, okay. But, it's not as sophisticated as some other watches. Keep turning it, keep turning it. When does it click? Yep, right there. Ugh. So now it's the 14th, about 12 minutes before it should be. So, okay, it's not the most refined. Definitely not the most refined. Let me come down to around 7, 8 o'clock. Put it back in. The middle detent, you turn it to set the date. Very easy to adjust. And push it all the way in. Doesn't screw down. Still has a water resistance of 100 meters, so that's pretty cool. Without a screw down crown, I wouldn't go in a swimming pool with this, but I don't feel any hesitation about, getting it wet in a rain shower or when I'm washing my hands in the sink. Beautiful, smooth action. It's not buttery smooth. You feel it. You feel the winding. It's a very high, fast wind, and it just feels excellent. I love it. So that's the big downside to this watch, just the movement. If you don't mind that, if you don't mind a little bit of a judder on the second hand and the slow date change, and not the best accuracy, maybe about 10 seconds a day I get, if you can settle with that, you can get a nice dress watch for the price. This is classy. You put this on and boy, it's a showstopper. That's beautiful. Every angle to it, it's just wow. Another downside with this watch is it is not a Grand Seiko. And I've seen some quality control issues from Seiko, regular Seikos, and this is not a cheap watch. This is almost an $800 watch. That's not cheap. And the first watch I got had a huge screw up with the applied Seiko. The KO was raised up high at an angle and it just didn't reflect the light. I have a video dedicated to showing that, going through the process I had to do to get it replaced. I shipped the watch back to Saya, Japan, and thankfully he did refund shipping, so it didn't cost me anything. I felt bad for him. He probably lost money on that transaction, but that is a downside. It is a JDM only watch, and if you're buying sight unseen, you can get defects. This watch is not perfect. If I look really close, and you're going to see in some of the macro shots, there's a tiny little hair on the applied Seiko. And truthfully, I don't know if they replaced the applied logo or if they just pushed down the KO. I just don't know. I got it back with a different serial number, different warranty card, but, who's to say? Well, guys, that's about all I can say about this watch. Needless to say, I love it. My first watch I'm going to keep because it has kind of sentimental value. It's my first quality watch, but this one, unless if I get a Grand Seiko to replace it, I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. I think it's just so classy, and to be honest, with this much quality, and the fact that I'm not that rich, I don't think I'm going to be getting a Grand Seiko anytime soon. This has really kept me very happy. I don't feel like I'm missing much. The only thing is the movement, and yeah, this works fine. No complaints. No major complaints. I hope this little show and tell was helpful. You get to see the watch, a little bit of close-ups, and some of the things I liked, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you like this video, good. I made this video for you guys. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for the thumbs up. I did it so I could show you and bring you this nice watch. It is a passion of mine, It's a little bit of a hobby, and hopefully this helps you guys if you're considering buying it or if you actually own it and you want to see somebody else's opinion about it. Needless to say, I like this a lot. Well, guys, I'm going to end the video there. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope everybody's doing good. Enjoy. Bye.
Your feet to the sky, feet and knees are wide. Reach for your feet, your ankles, your calves, and then use your arms to draw those knees and thighs down and gently rock from side to side. Happy baby pose. Feeling happy, feeling joyous. Inviting that greatest version of who you are to be fully present today, to enjoy each moment in life with gratitude, with passion, with enthusiasm. Happy baby pose. Beautiful. Let's release happy baby pose and hug the knees in. And then slowly either roll up or roll to your side as you find your way up to a seated position. Very good. As we sit up nice and tall now,